flashes urgent warnings about a mysterious virus spreading rapidly, turning ordinary people into violent, mindless creatures that attack anything living. The streets you once walked freely are now dangerous, filled with chaos, fear, and the relentless pursuit of survival. This terrifying scenario might sound like something straight out of the popular series The Walking Dead, but what if it suddenly became your reality? Could you really survive in a world where the dead walk and society as we know it has crumbled? The idea of a zombie apocalypse captivates millions worldwide through comics, TV shows, and movies. But beneath the thrilling fiction lies a question that challenges our understanding of survival: human behavior and preparedness. Today, we're going to dive deep into what it would take to endure such a nightmare, not just relying on luck or weapons, but through practical survival skills, mental toughness, and smart decision-making. From how the infection spreads and what happens in the immediate collapse of society, to the essentials of shelter, food defense, and the psychological toll this world would exact on us, we'll explore if you have what it takes to survive a real-life Walking Dead scenario. This is not just entertainment. It's a reality check that might make you think twice about your readiness for any disaster that could come knocking on your door. Surviving a real-life Walking Dead scenario begins with understanding the nature of the threat itself, the virus or infection that turns people into zombies. In the show and comics, the infection spreads primarily through bites, where the infected bodily fluids enter the bloodstream, rapidly taking over the nervous system and causing a horrifying transformation. While this is a fictional concept, it is loosely inspired by real infectious diseases that spread through bodily fluids, such as rabies or certain hemorrhagic fevers. The incubation period, the time between infection and the visible onset of symptoms, could be short, meaning that someone might appear healthy but be on the verge of turning, which makes the infection incredibly difficult to contain. This rapid transmission would cause the infection to spread quickly, overwhelming hospitals, emergency responders, and governments before effective containment measures could be implemented. As the outbreak explodes, society would face immediate collapse. Hospitals would become overwhelmed with the infected and the sick. Supply chains would break down, law enforcement would be stretched thin, and panic would ripple through communities. Major cities, with their high population densities, would become hotspots for infection and violence. Crowded streets would quickly turn into battlegrounds where people not only have to fear zombies, but also desperate individuals fighting for limited resources. The chaos would cause mass migration as people flee cities in search of safety, but this movement could inadvertently spread the infection further. Understanding the geographical impact is crucial. Urban areas would face the worst initial impact, while rural areas might serve as temporary refuges. However, rural survivors face their own challenges, such as limited access to medical facilities, food stores, and communication infrastructure. In this new reality, finding secure shelter becomes paramount. Your shelter must be defensible, preferably with strong barriers that prevent zombie intrusion and offer a safe space to rest and regroup. This could be a fortified home, an isolated cabin, or even underground bunkers if available. Equally important is stockpiling supplies like non-perishable food, clean water, medical kits, and weapons. Since grocery stores and pharmacies would quickly empty, survivors must find ways to sustain themselves long-term. This means learning how to purify water, grow food, hunt, or forage. Weapons for defense range from melee options like baseball bats and knives to firearms, but stealth and avoidance often prove more effective than direct confrontation. Noise attracts zombies, so engaging in fights only when necessary is a crucial survival tactic. Additionally, defending against other survivors is often more dangerous than defending against the undead. In the absence of law and order, many people might resort to violence to protect their own lives or take resources. Trust becomes a scarce commodity, and navigating these human threats requires both vigilance and strong social skills. This brings us to the question of group survival. Going solo means you're less conspicuous and more mobile, but it also means limited resources and no backup during crises. Groups offer safety in numbers, shared skills, and pooled resources. But they also come with risks like internal conflict, leadership struggles, and greater visibility to enemies. The dynamics within a group could be the difference between life and death. and successful groups often require clear leadership, trust, and cooperation. Beyond the physical challenges, the psychological toll of living in a world overrun by zombies cannot be overstated. Isolation, loss of loved ones, constant danger, and the uncertainty of the future create intense mental stress. Survivors must find ways to cope with fear, grief, and loneliness. Mental resilience and adaptability become just as vital as physical survival skills. Without them, even the most well-prepared individuals may falter. When all these factors are taken together, survival in a Walking Dead scenario becomes a complex equation. Preparedness, having the right skills, supplies, and plans is the foundation of survival. Location plays a significant role. Being in a less populated area with access to natural resources can increase your odds. Social factors, such as your ability to work with others and build trust, influence your chances as well. And finally, your mental strength to endure hardship and make quick, rational decisions under pressure is what could ultimately keep you alive. While no one can predict exactly how they would fare in such a catastrophic event, understanding the realities behind the fiction gives us valuable insight. The Walking Dead world is brutal and unforgiving, but with knowledge, preparation, and resilience, survival is possible. Surviving a real-life Walking Dead scenario would demand more than just luck. It would require careful preparation, a wide range of survival skills, mental toughness, and the ability to make smart decisions in the face of constant danger. Whether you find yourself alone or in a group, in a bustling city or a remote area, your chances hinge on how well you can adapt to rapidly changing circumstances and overcome both the undead and the living threats around you. While the idea of zombies roaming the streets may seem far-fetched, the lessons we learn from imagining such a scenario can help us better prepare for all kinds of disasters in real life. So, ask yourself, are you ready to face the unimaginable? What steps can you take today to improve your odds of survival, not just against zombies, but any crisis that might come your way? If you found this exploration intriguing, be sure to subscribe and share your thoughts or survival strategies in the comments below. Remember, in a world turned upside down, knowledge and preparedness could be your greatest weapons.